Morning. PT18pro Oathkeeper. Kindly sent to me by Kitty from Brinyte, and she basically just wants my views on it. It's a tactical torch, quite obviously. I wouldn't be using it in a tactical role, but I was interested to see how it would fare in my sort of usage. So night walks, wild camping, that sort of thing. Now, I understand the ring in a tactical type situation, whether it be, so you can hold a weapon and your torch at the same time, or in an offensive manner, shall we say. Sure, I get that. In the UK, unless you are a policeman, military, whatever, I would imagine if you were stopped with this, they would class that as a knuckle duster and you would be in trouble. Luckily, it comes off easily. You just unscrew the tail cap where the battery goes in, slide it off. So that'll be one of the first things I'm doing, is taking that off. I understand it, I don't need it. So let's go to the table, have a look a bit closer, and I'll give you my thoughts. Right, the first thing that I was, pleasantly surprised, it's not a massive torch, but when I took it out of the box, it's got some weight to it. It's not heavy, but it's solid. You can feel it's solid. It's beautifully made. I have had a couple of other Brinyte torches and they're all very well finished. This is no exception. Funny shapes, but there's good reason. Now, the first thing, like I mentioned, the ring. I understand its function. I'm not going to be using it. So, let's just undo the tail cap, drop that off. There, that's got rid of that. That's better. That's more like what I'm used to using. You've got the belt clip here, which is removable. I'm not quite sure how functional that's going to be in that location. It's a little bit awkward. It's not a massive clip either. And it comes with a really good case, which we'll come to in a minute, which has got a belt clip on it. So if you've got the case with a belt clip, you wouldn't necessarily need that one. That comes off easy enough as well. The other thing that I've only realised this morning, this section here looks a bit of a funny shape, sort of squared off. What the actual function of that is, I'm not sure. But one thing I have noticed is when you put it down on a flat surface that, there's a possibility of the torch rolling, it just stands because of that. So if it wasn't dead flat, it wouldn't roll away. So if you're doing something in the dark and you need both hands and you put the torch down, it'll stay where you point it. So, looks a bit odd, but certainly for me, that's quite useful, got a good function. You've got your mode switch there with the power LED in there. When you first switch on, it shows green or amber or red, depending on how much charge there is in it. Opposite side, you can't call that the charging port because it's not a port, it's flat. But it's the charging area I'll show you the cable in a second. That's really good, I like that. And 2 tail switches. Right, before we go any further, I'll just quickly show some of the things that come with it. Not all of them, but I'll stick up a photo of all of the kit. I'll just move that to one side for a moment. Here's your charging cable, USB type. It's actually a nice braided cable. Looks much better quality than, you know, what you'd get for a mobile phone or whatever. When it's plugged in, this section here actually lights up blue to show there's power to it. And it's a magnetic, so, well, simple as that. There's no hole to fill up with dirt and rubbish, and there's none of that, you know, trying to align the cable correctly with the hole and the right way up, and, you know, could it be any simpler? Love that feature, mainly because it means I can plug it in without having to put my glasses on. Simple. So that's your charging. Right, comes with a nice, decent, strong case. Very well constructed, good strong Velcro. It's got a pocket on either side here, a stretchy one, which I'm assuming is for spare batteries if you're going to be out for, you know, a long period of time. It's got a cutout in the bottom, so the torch can be used in the case. Massive belt clip. It's on a ratchet, so you could have it fixed to your belt and switched on, and you could, well, be walking hands-free, shall we say, because it's attached to your belt. How well that'll work in practice, I don't know. I'll find out when I try it out in the dark. But I like at least the idea of it. You can see the side comes full length there, but it's got the cutout there. I'm assuming that's for if you've got the ring fitted. So it's got somewhere to poke out through. But yeah, very good case, very strong. I like that. Another thing it comes with in the box is this nice paracord lanyard. There's actually quite a lot of paracord there. If you unravelled that and you needed suddenly a length of cord for some reason, you got the little spring clip there, so it can be clipped on like that. Now that's probably something I wouldn't use with the torch. It's big enough, the loop here, you can stick it over your head if you wanted the torch hanging down in front of you. Personally, I hate things hanging around my neck, certainly something the size and weight of that. It has got this adjuster on it, so you could cinch that down around your wrist maybe, if you was worried about dropping the torch, you know, secure it to your wrist. I'm not sure I will use that with the torch, but it's really nicely made. It's very good. As soon as I saw it, my immediate thoughts were either fixing my car keys to it so I don't lose them, or maybe fixing my compass to it. So as an accessory for this, probably not for me, but as a item that comes with the torch, it is something I can use. Right, let's have a quick look at the buttons. Now this does have a lot of features, but you know, you can make it as complicated or as simple as you like. I think you just need to spend time with it, see what features you need. The tail ones here, they both have dual function. If you think of this one as the on-off switch, which, as you can see, simple as, goes straight to full power. Equally so, if you don't click it, you just give it a half press, shall we say, it comes on momentarily and then release goes off. The other one that's slightly to the side, when you're switched on, that will actually cycle through the power modes, which is probably how I will be using it. But when you're in the off position, if you press that side one, the one I just cycled through the power modes, it goes straight to strobe. That is part of its tactical side, shall we say. So I'll just warn you now, flashy light time. Not something I would use, but it's there if you need it, I suppose. So yeah, on off, cycle through the functions. But you can also cycle through the functions with this one and access a few other things like an SOS mode. Again, not something that I personally would use, but it depends on who buys the torch, doesn't it? To me, that's just a bit complicated. I like things simple. So I probably won't be using that button. I'll probably just be using the top two. The only thing left to do is actually check its performance. So tonight, as long as it stays dry, I'll go out and we'll try two different locations. I'll try a big open field for, you know, a bit of range, and I'll try some woodland. We'll see how it goes. Right, before I go out tonight, and while I remember, let's just give you the two headline figures. The two things that most people want to know about a torch. How bright? How long will it last? Maximum power, so turbo mode, 2000 lumens. When it's in that, it will be at its absolute maximum for 1 minute, and then it will reduce the power slightly to preserve battery, obviously, and it will run for another 90 minutes. So more or less full brightness for an hour and a half, which is pretty good. The other one, which is a function that I will be using probably more, is on low. So it's just enough light to look around a campsite, look in your bag for something, you know, the real short range close up stuff. On low, 10 lumens, so that's bright enough to see what you're doing. 1870 minutes, or if my maths serve me correct, 31 hours on low power. Now that's pretty good. We'll see how well it works. Right, I've just measured out the distances for tonight's torch test. That's 50 metres to that tree. That's approximately 75 to that pair. And it's a little over 100 metres to the hedge line there, the edge of the woodland. So that'll give you some scale for tonight. Right, it's a bit misty and wet, but let's have a look. Just about make out that on the ground in front there. That's on the low setting. It's only 10 lumens, but you know, that's more than enough for a round camp. I'll go to the 50-metre tree. No, it doesn't pick him up. So yes, as I thought, very much short range. Now, let's click him up to the medium setting. That is picking the tree out just about at 50 metres with the naked eye. Looking at the camera, not on the camera, but I can see it. Click him again, up to high. That's lighting the tree up very well. Let's have a look at the camera. Yes, it's also picking it up on the camera. Going out to the 75-metre mark. Yeah, it's picking those up nicely as well. Just over 100 metres. Just about with a naked eye. Not sure with the camera whether it can see that, but yeah, I can just about see it. So back to the 50 mark. Let's go full turbo. Well, yeah. Yes, I can see the tree. 75, no problems at all. And at the 100, just over 100-metre mark, it's lighting all them trees up in the back there without an issue. It's probably not showing too well on film because it is that damp, misty sort of night. There's your low setting. Not lighting up a lot down through here. Click him up. Medium, plenty bright enough for walking footpaths and so on. No problem at all with that. High. Yes, bright. If we go turbo, 2000 lumens. Bear in mind that a standard halogen car headlamp bulb is putting out about 1500. It's brighter than the average car headlamp. Pretty impressive. And although it's got a focus center, so it has got like a bright spot in the middle, it's got a fairly wide, almost flood effect at the same time. There's no zoom on this torch, it's just fixed focus. But it seemed to have the best of both worlds. I like it. Right, we're back in from the testing. It performed very well. Actually better than I expected, to be fair. So, in conclusion, it's well made, it's waterproof, it's shockproof, if you drop it onto concrete, that sort of thing. It has got the ring and clip, which I don't need. Some people will, but they're easily removable. So that's always a good thing. Overall, I like it. I really do. The only thing is missing for my type of use would be a red or green light function. But it is marketed as a tactical torch, not a hunting torch. So I can understand why it hasn't got them. If this had a red or green function, it would be just about perfect for my use. As it is, I really like it. So I would give it a really solid 9 out of 10. It's good.